The Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl, #1 Georgia Bulldogs against the #4 Ohio State Buckeyes. Boo.
Fuck eyes. Oh,
Boo.
sorry.
I'm going to give you some spreads here. Georgia is favored by 6.5 in this game. Georgia's playing a home game.
Yeah, literally.
Because they are in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
I say more of a home game because I think there's going to be a lot of Buckeye fans in Atlanta still. There's a lot of them here. We went to Disney the other day, and there's Buckeye fans everywhere. They're everywhere. It's like they crawled out of the woodworks. I say go blue to them, and they just stare at me. They go. The Buckeyes are in a rare underdog role here, and I think that makes them dangerous against the Bulldogs. Georgia is 4-0 against the spread when favored by 20 points or less. So favored by 6.5 here looks good for Georgia. I think they're going to hit the Buckeyes with a rushing attack. Their rushing attack has averaged 207 yards a game. Stetson Bennett hasn't been sacked in his last 6 games.
That's crazy.
Pretty good. I mean, Georgia's front force right there, they are really good. I think the Buckeyes can sack him, though. I think he will get sacked this game. Ohio State's going to be mad from losing at home in that blowout win to Michigan. CJ Stroud, I think, is going to have some success because he's got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Ibuka. They are both really good receivers. I'm surprised Michigan kind of kept them in check in the second half of that game. The Buckeyes will push the Bulldogs to the limit, but I think Georgia comes up with the stomp in crunch time and they win this game. I don't know if they're going to cover 6.5. It's going to go one of two ways. Either there's going to be a close game that finishes like 34-31 or something like that, or Georgia's just going to blow them out of the water. I think Ohio State will stay in it, and then Georgia pulls away late. So I'm going to give Georgia to cover that 6.5, and Georgia wins. I'm going to say 38-21. Georgia moves on to the national championship.
It's a good score.
That's a pretty good score. I agree that it could go either one or two ways, but I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure Georgia is going to take it and take that spread. Reason behind it is Georgia's just a powerhouse. They produce not only a ton of NFL candidates, but their coaching is pretty amazing.
There's something else that's crazy. Georgia's entire defense got drafted last year, and they're still in the college football playoff this year as the #1 team. Yeah, they're insane. Like, their backups were starters in other teams. It's crazy.
Whoever's scouting for them is doing a hell of a job. Give that man
yeah, for sure.
But I mean, after seeing the Ohio Michigan game, there was just too many flaws that Georgia I think is going to pick up on for them to be able to even have a close game. Like you said, I think there's going to be a pretty good half, and then Georgia's going to break away. That's just my take on it. So I like your score. I think it'll be a pretty significant lead, but I see Georgia moving into that final.
Here's the other thing. Georgia has played in Atlanta many times. They know that stadium in and out. So they're basically the Falcons there. It's like Ohio's like their professional team in Ohio. Ohio State's the professional team in Ohio. Georgia's the new professional team in Atlanta right now. Because Falcons, I mean, they're doing better than I thought they would this year, but Georgia's doing way better.
I think they, like me and Casey were talking about this on the weekend. We think the committee got all 4 games or all 4 teams right. I just think Ohio State isn't strong enough to compete with Georgia. It should be a good game though. We know it's been a month since both these teams have played, so anything can happen, especially in the beginning of the game. But I like Georgia in this game. I just think the defense is dominant enough to take them. Yes, Ohio State has probably the better offense, but their defense is just too powerful, and they showed it all year. I just like them.
I'm definitely on board with you guys with this. I think that the committee here has it right. Georgia, I feel like, is definitely the best in the country. Michigan, honestly, I think Georgia is just a whole different level above everyone, including Michigan. I don't see them losing to any of these teams. Honestly, I don't see Ohio State being able to hang on, especially the way they got exposed against Michigan. Yeah, they'll probably be upset and angry about it, but Georgia's just too big, man. They're just too big of a team, and their statistics. I have Georgia's statistics here, like team stats. Anybody want to take a guess at their total points per game average?
I'm gonna say 40.
34.
36.
Georgia football averages 38.7 points every single game on average. Total points, they have over 500 on the season.
Yeah, 13 games.
It's fucking insane. 61 touchdowns. I don't see Ohio State competing in this. Michigan won 45-23, by the way, in that game. I just can't see Ohio State competing here. Maybe like if they get an early lead, like right away, some offensive miscues by Georgia, and Ohio State capitalizes on some turnovers early in the game, but Georgia's going to have to beat themselves for Ohio State to win this game. So I like Georgia here pretty big, honestly. It is a big bowl game. Obviously, it's part of the college football playoff. Big stage. Georgia's going to put up a lot of points on this team. Michigan put up 45 on them. I think Georgia might do close to the same. Just because it is on that big stage, though, there's so much more to fight for here. I'm going to go 42-30 Georgia. Because I think Ohio State will get their offense going a little bit with CJ Stroud back there. And he's playing, right? He was hurt for a while.
Yeah.
He'll be playing. Yeah, they've had a month to recover. But yeah, I don't see Ohio State holding on. I don't know if they score that many. Even they're just a different beast. They're a bunch of dogs. Boomy. I don't think anybody can beat Georgia at this point, honestly, if Georgia's playing Georgia football.
Go Dogs on Saturday night. That's all I got to say. Sorry,
part
Tiffany.
of me wants Ohio State to win, though, just so we can go beat the shit out of them again in the national championship. How fucking amazing would that be?
Here's my worst fear, though. We play them again and we lose. We would never hear the end of it from Tiffany.
Yeah. Fuck. Georgia, just win.
Yeah, Georgia just wins, so we don't have to deal with that.